I'm in a fluorescent lit room with white walls, some photos from around the world on the walls. The room has gray carpeting. I'm sitting at a long conference table alongside other colleagues. We're in an office in New York City discussing something around supporting climate resilience and equity in countries halfway around the world. It's the middle of summer, but the air conditioner is so strong that I shiver as I snuggle my shawl around me to keep me warm. I look down at my phone to check the agenda for the meeting that we all received by email. As I skim the agenda, my body is also preparing for the silent agenda that's not written down anywhere, but that we're all aware of in the room. The silent acknowledgement of who has legitimacy in the room and who doesn't, who has more power and who has less, who will be heard and who will not. As I sit with this silent agenda, I feel a longing in my heart, wishing we could do this work while embodying the world that we supposedly stand for, where everyone in the room knows they're valued and respected, and we're guided by the lived experience and wisdom of the communities we're supposedly supporting. Mahatma Gandhi famously said, "We but mirror the world." All the tendencies present in the outer world are to be found in the world of our body. If we could change ourselves, the tendencies in the world would also change. How can we change a paradigm, one that considers certain people more valuable than others, that views the life around us as natural resources to be extracted, without living out the new paradigm ourselves as change makers? Trying to change something out there, us versus them, will only take us so far. Of course, we're conditioned from birth in the dominant culture. Culture is like the air we breathe. It influences our beliefs, our decisions, our actions. It's why in the meeting I described, certain people exercise their voice and power while others keep silent, even as we're doing the work of equity out there in other places. And it's why some folks don't even think twice about the freezing air conditioning, even as we work toward climate resilience. What if we moved from a stance of we are protecting nature, I, separate from nature, know what needs to be done to protect nature, to one of we are nature protecting ourselves? Perhaps we might prioritize caring for ourselves as we do this work, rather than pushing ourselves to overwork and burnout. And perhaps we might prioritize caring for each other, not only the communities we work with, but also the people around us, our families, friends, colleagues, neighbors, our own community where we live. These are some of the reflections that were shared by Flourish participants in the live session. To the question of what are the dominant mental models that show up in climate change action? So mental models are worldviews, our beliefs, our assumptions, our values. So what are the dominant beliefs that show up in climate change action, and what patterns do they create, right? And these beliefs and patterns are informed or generated by our dominant culture. And you shared that these beliefs include people need to work hard to prove their worth. We're not inherently worthy, but we need to prove our inherent value. Climate change is urgent. Every time we're not taking action, we're losing precious time. Sense of urgency. Numb what you're feeling to be able to function. Only show your strengths, hide weaknesses. We can't be fully human. Competition is more important than cooperation. Chronic fear responses and nervous system dysregulation. Hustle culture. Always doing, always doing. Consumerism, materialism. A lack of genuine togetherness to problem solve. And now these were your reflections on carrying mental models, carrying beliefs, worldviews that will allow for a paradigm shift toward we are nature protecting ourselves and the patterns that these beliefs create. Taking care of myself and others is just as important as doing the work itself. Self-love and relation to self is fundamental in addressing the crisis. Rest is the work. Knowing that my body is a part of the earth that my care can reach. Health and well-being emerge from tending to the soil, land, and our place with care, patience, understanding, and dedication. Human and planetary health co-arise. Taking care of our traumas is love. Each individual has something valuable and unique to contribute to the bigger picture. Organizations that experiment, explore, fail, and learn openly. People who know that care is important and central to everything. Feelings of fulfillment and connection that are energizing and harmonizing. So naturalist John Muir says, when we try to pick out anything by itself, we find it hitched to everything else in the universe. Seeing other people, animals, nature as separate from us has generated a culture of extraction, exploitation, and violence, big and small. Whether that aggression is directed toward others and other beings or toward ourselves. So in our work toward a generative future, we can start now by co-creating caring cultures and ways of collaborating. So rather than seeing everything as urgent and pushing ourselves and our collaborators to move more quickly, what might it be like to slow down? To do the work at a pace that allows for play, fun, connection, rest. When we're organizing an action against someone or something, what if we didn't see them as the enemy, as being less than human, but as fellow human beings who also have fears and hopes, who have experienced loss and joy, just as I have. We have no control over the future or the past. There's only now. We can only truly influence the present moment, which will send ripple effects into the future and help to heal the past. And so to end, I invite you to consider how you might start now to co-create a more caring and generative world, starting with yourself and the people around you.